All right, everybody, welcome to a special virtual bourbon event. We have our tasting of Bourbon County Stout, as well as sharing some of our activities for the day and those type of things. And should be fun and talking about just how the day was. So this is always a very exciting day. I've been doing this for many years. A buddy of mine, Charlie, got me into this. He was collecting this stuff before it was a thing in St. Louis. So he used to go around and buy up as much as he could. And then he got me on board, and then we would share and trade stuff. And as it got more popular, we would divide and conquer. So they gave us more chances to find things. But early on, we'd go out together, which is cool. So, and I was hoping he was supposed to be with me today, but he couldn't make it. He canceled at the last minute. So he decided not to go out and battle the cold this morning. I reminded him he's a hunter. So the guy, he's out in the woods all the time, but he couldn't answer the bell today. So we want to talk a little bit about what we're going to try here. I see Rob pour one. Rob, what do you got there, man? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute, buddy.
Sorry, you caught me off guard. I am pouring the Cola Stout that I found.
The Cola Stout. Okay, that's going to be the one I'm trying as well. That's nice. The one I brought up with. It just to me, it's just so different and interesting. It was like I got to try one of these, so that's what I'm going to be trying too. We'll compare some notes here. Paul, what are you going to be trying?
I was going to do the Cola one too because it's interesting, but I'll do the cherry wood then instead.
Okay. All right. Neil and Melly, are you going to be trying one of your?
We actually got the Cola one today as well. So, or yesterday. No,
today.
Yeah, the other one we got last year. Actually, I forgot it was in the basement, in the refrigerator in the basement.
Yeah,
so
in a special fridge.
Okay. So, all right, go ahead and crack that open. And Michael, are you going to be trying any of yours, or?
I have the basic stout, just the stout.
Okay, that'll be good. I haven't cracked one of those yet, so we'll be interested to hear how that is. So, Rob and I, let's go first, man. We both got the same one here. And the Robinsons, is that the one you're doing too? Cherry?
Yeah, we're doing the Cola. We can do the
Cola. I mean the Cola. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's try this, gang.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty good, man. That's got a lot of flavor to it.
I love how there's just enough citrus to sort of give it that zest that you would mimic in a carbonated cola, which is kind of what they're going for. That's really interesting how they did that.
Yes, it is.
It almost smells more like a cola on the nose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
It's kind of got like it tastes like if you've had like a bourbon and Coke on the rocks, all the ice melts and it maybe flattens out a little bit. Mm-hmm. That's what it tastes like a flat whiskey and Coke, but in a really good way.
Yeah.
What was the ABV on that one?
14.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I get like dates and fig Newton and that kind of flavor with this.
Yes. But the bourbon comes through nicely in this one. It's definitely bourbon forward. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Man, you almost get even like a little hug. It almost tastes like, you know what I mean? There's a little warmth there. That's
it is.
It is.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. They nailed it on this one. So definitely something totally different. That's why I was excited to grab a couple of those. So that's cool. Michael, tell us about the basic one. Give us a quick taste of that this year. What do you think?
I guess it's not too surprising that it didn't generate too much of a head because of the alcohol that's in it. You see, it's just like a very thin.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, there's certainly bourbon in the nose.
Oh.
Trying to think what you're getting a little bit also of like a dark fruit kind of smells as well.
Oh, this is very different.
Well, let me taste it.
All right.
Oh, the bourbon is really nice in this one. It's intensely bourbon forward,
Mm-hmm.
and you're getting the dark fruit, again, figs and prunes, and it's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what, they just, I don't know. They have it down. Some of these bourbon barrel aged ones, you can't necessarily taste the bourbon. This is tastes like a bourbon cocktail I'm sipping on here. So it's really good.
There's a little bit of leather in it as well, and some tobacco as well, too.
Mhm. That's nice.
But it's amazing how they integrate all these tastes together, but the bourbon is the lead taste for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. And Paul,
It's
you have the
consistent
go
every
ahead.
year too. It's
Yeah.
consistent every year. That's why you have to give them credit for brewing a really good product.
Yes, absolutely. Paul, you're doing the cherry wood one?
Yep. I have the finished with cherry wood. It's 14.2. I was a little apprehensive going into this because I know some of them, even with Goose Island, but other people that do bourbon barrel, when they go fruited, it's usually like just fruit forward, like way too much, hit you in the face, fruit.
Yeah.
I want the bourbon to shine through. I mean, that's the whole theme of their, line, and I think they nailed it this year. On the noses, I mean, it's almost like a smelling like if you are drinking bourbon and eating, what are those? What are they called? Cherry cordials, like the cherries with chocolate on them. That's the smell. It's like you're eating cherry cordials while drinking bourbon, and it carries through really well on the palate. It's definitely, it's not, because I guess they finish it with cherry wood, so it's muted cherry, but it's just enough that you don't say dark fruit, you say cherry. It's definitively cherry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but the chocolate shines through. I love that it still has the effervescence or the carbonation in it, because a lot of these high proof stouts, that fades away and it's just like you're drinking flat. But it still has that really good effervescent mouthfeel. And in the finish, you get some of the oaky bourbon sweet, flavors that you would expect. But this is a really good one. This wasn't one of the ones that I was super looking forward to reading all the all the notes, but
Yes.
This one's really very good.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's very cool.
I notice as I pour more in, you can regenerate a tan head, but it goes away right away.
Mm-hmm.
So it does regenerate a head for like a brief second. You can see it at the top, and then it goes away. But I guess in these higher alcohol beers, they can't maintain a head too long just because the alcohol is so high.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I don't even know what kind of barrels Goose Island uses on these, but it must be decent bourbon.
We have Wild Turkey, Heaven Hill. There might be one more just in the basic stuff. Maybe Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's right then. So yeah, they have the coolest relationships, and of course, the special ones. It's amazing what they're doing. There's no one that has the relationships that they've got. So it's pretty amazing. But Robinsons, what are you guys thinking? Kind of being newer to this.
I'll tell you what, I'm not necessarily a fan of stouts, but I really like this.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Yeah.
I thought, well, with it, now it's aged in beer barrels?
Bourbon barrels.
I mean, and it's aged in bourbon barrels?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it definitely picks up the good notes of the bourbon.
Yeah.
Makes it really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I have, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I have the other one, I think the same one that Paul tried, and immediately the chocolate covered cherry in a good way. I mean, it's like all that gooey, icky middle is out, and all you have is the essence of the cherry with the chocolate.
Oh, cool.
Really, really pleasant.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. All right. Well, we'll come back to some beer. I've got a second one too that I want to try a little bit later in this thing. So I've got one of my old ones. I got a 2017. I'm going to crack. Look at that. It's even dusty. It's
Wow.
Pulled this out of the cellar today. So
Hey, I'll crack a 2017 with you.
okay, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that a little bit later. We'll work on the ones we got now, but yeah, that'll be fun, and we'll see how they've held up. Let's talk a little bit about celery. I mean, I have I posted online today of mine. I bought a rack specifically for this. I measured it out. It wasn't made for Bourbon County Stout, but I measured it out and it looked like it would fit the bottles perfectly. I bought it on Amazon or no, on eBay, one of the two.
That looks perfect.
Yeah, it's really holds all of them. And yeah, and I just have it in a cool, dark place in the basement. And it's over the years, it's worked out really well for aging my Bourbon County
Well, you
Stouts.
did not double your collection like we did today.
No, I did not double my collection. That would be quite a bit to double it. So yeah. Yes.
Paul, we only had one bottle. We bought another one today, so I told Steve we doubled.
They got two. Yeah, they doubled it.
There you go. Now double. You'll be up in Steve's range in no time.
Yes.
Keep doubling.
Keep doubling every year. You'll pass me eventually. So Paul, where do you sell your stuff?
I just use one of my kitchen cabinets. It's the highest one.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that can reach that high in my house. So
Right.
keep it up in the highest cabinet. We keep our house, like 62 to 64 year round. So it's
Right.
cold everywhere in the house. So in a dark cabinet, it seems to hold up.
That's good. Yeah. Light's the worst thing for this stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Michael, how do you store yours?
I have mine in a box in the cellar,
Okay.
and I actually have a vertical collection from 2016 on. So I have
Nice.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and now 21. So not that you could sit around and drink 6 in the same night, but you could
No.
have a big, you could have a big group of people and try the different years to see how the years have treated them and how
Yes.
they matured over time.
Yeah. That's what I
So
kind
I
of
have
do.
not cellared any variants. I've only cellared the straight stout.
Okay.
Michael, the group does travel.
Yes. Yeah. We'll swing by eventually. We'll get by. We're going up to Maine next year, so maybe we'll swing into your place on the way up to Maine. Drink some.
But that's what's nice about this kind of Zoom thing that you can have. We can talk to people in different parts of the country and see what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So Rob, how about you? Where do you keep your stuff?
So down here in my little speakeasy that I'm in every call, underneath the sink, I have a couple, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 cases of a wide variety going back from, I think I started in 16 or 17.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's probably 45 or 50 of them in there at this point. And I always look at the back where it tells you, because each variant will tell you like how long it's supposed to, develop in the glass. So I try to make sure that I rotate out to make sure I don't get to that point where I've exceeded the recommended time. So I have some work to do this year, actually.
Yes. Yes. I do the same thing. I mean, I try to stay on top of them, but yes. And I don't want to go too far back. Like I've got, I think 4 left from 2017. That's the oldest ones I still have in inventory, and I'll drink through those soon, and that'll be it up. But I do have a Knob Creek from 2017. That was a big score. So I gotta have some friends over to drink that one. I'm not gonna drink that one by myself. I'll have to get maybe the legend to come over and some other people. So
Steve, what would you think would be the limit in terms of how many years you would be willing to wait before you think it might get where it would be going the other way?
yeah. So to me, my buddy who's been doing this a long time has kept them longer, but I like to keep mine 5 years because I think that 5 years or less you're going to be okay. He keeps them a little bit longer, but some of he said has been okay, some not. So I don't know. To me, it seems like that's kind of the cutoff point. You still might be fine, and maybe it's even better, but it gets a little bit dangerous at that point. So.
Because I saw a review of one, it was in the Bourbon County. It was one from North Carolina where they waited 10 years and it had turned to vinegar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would suck, Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to be careful a little bit in the cellar. You don't want to go too far.
Yeah, you spend this time going out and finding these things, and then taking the time to, keep them stored away for 5, 6, 7 years. You open it up and it's vinegar that you can't even use or drink. It's
right.
No, that's why I shoot for 4 years, just because I know for stouts, 5 is like the magic number where you shouldn't get over 5. So I usually try to shoot for 4 just because I don't want to open a vinegar bottle.
Yeah.
And depending what else is in it, sometimes, it's a coffee stout, that'll fade too. So you may lose your coffee edge on it as well.
Yeah. Some of
I mean,
those,
like the barley wines, they don't seem to last as long. They recommend 2 or 3 years.
yeah. So let's talk a little bit about today. What did you guys do today? So Robinsons, we'll start with you. Kind of newer to it, not really big into it, but you grabbed one today while you're out there, attended this event. So tell us about your bourbon County stout hunting for today.
Yeah, we kind of hit it too for the local liquor store, Westport Whiskey and Wine, had a breakfast biscuits and gravy event from Log Still Distillery. So we went to that, and they had 2 expressions, the cola and the just the regular bourbon barrel.
At checkout, at one.
At the checkout counter. So we got them there. So we were going to check and make sure to see if they had them when we were there. But it seems like the only 2 that they had.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I've been doing this for a long time, and it seemed like when it was just because Bourbon County Stout didn't used to have the partnerships. They had just the regular, and they didn't announce it, hey, we're partnering with Knob Creek and all that. That's all been with, I think, like 2017 and later, when they started getting these great partnerships. And I don't think they really hit the radar in Louisville until after that. But now it definitely seems like in Kentucky, because they're partnering with Heaven Hill and Old Forester, and they got Blanton's stuff now, it does seem like there's a lot more interest in Kentucky than there used to be when I got started. So that's kind of interesting.
Yes, we avoided shopping today. We went on the highway past the exits for the malls and noticed backed up traffic, but we just looked and kept on going.
Yeah. So, Michael, how do you do this? What's your plan of action?
Well, I went to my food co-op that always has it and always gets it the first day, but all they get the first day is this one that I bought, the stout, and then the variants come in the next few days. So I guess they're not getting the full adventure you get from some of the other places that get the variants right away. So I buy the stout today, and then I go back in the next few days and I look for the variants to come in. And in the past, they've gotten the barley wines, which I think eventually became wheat wines. After a while, they stopped doing the barley wine. They did wheat wine. And it's interesting. I doubt that we're going to see the cola, though, but we might see some of the other ones, some of the other variants. They never get all of them, though. Like you said, the proprietor one only goes to Chicago. And of the other ones, we usually get 2 or 3 variants. And I've tried the variants. I usually only buy smaller amounts, and I try to buy more of the stouts, and those are the ones that I sell.
Yeah. I the only proprietors I ever got was last year, and that's only because they sent me some. So we always have promoted, since I've done this network and done podcasts and stuff like that. We've always done shows about hunting Bourbon County Stout, and they reached out to me last year and then sent me every single one, including proprietors, which I couldn't believe. So that was awesome. But I haven't drank it.
That's great.
Yeah, I have not drank it yet, though, so I've still got that one.
No, but that's great that you have it and you can drink it.
Yeah, I eventually will, for sure. But again, that's going to be a special one. There's going to be some friends over. So maybe this group, if you guys want to come to the house, we'll coordinate that. That'd be fun. So, Rob, tell us about your day. What this hunting is like for you. What do you do?
I go to the same little local grocery store every year, and they've had a really good relationship with Goose County because they have a really good beer selection, and they sell a lot of beer, and they've always gotten more variants than anybody else. And it's kind of one of those unknown gems that I don't really even tell my friends about.
Right.
And I went there first thing and grabbed 3 variants and then the original this morning. So I felt like that was a pretty good score. And then I hit up one of the Giant Eagles, if you're familiar with that grocery chain, and
sure,
found another one. But my go-to is just this little mom and pop grocery chain with like 5 or 6 locations here in Northeast Ohio. So cool. I did well, I thought.
Yeah. So do you have to wait in line at all, or is it you just walk in and get it? Okay.
I walked in, they opened up at 7 a.m. this morning. I got there at about 8:45 and there was still a decent amount on the shelf.
Okay.
They had a limit of 2. But then I went and did the self checkout and had no problem buying more than 2. So there's a little glitch, I guess, and I took advantage.
You didn't bust yourself.
I didn't bust myself.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's good.
Limit 2 at a time.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
That's a good trick.
Yeah, it is a good trick.
It wasn't even premeditated; just kind of worked out.
It just worked out. Okay.
Yeah.
Paul, how about you? What's your plan of action when you're doing this?
So yeah, I got a little local circuit within a 3-mile area of me of about 5 or 6 stores that I rolled through this morning. This is the first year I took my daughter out with me, so we made multiple detours for Slurpees and pizza and stuff like that.
Right.
But it was a nice little day of hunting. So but I found that this year the stores that like really are beer heavy, that focus on selling beer around me with fill your own growler stations and stuff like that normally get all the variants, and it's like limit 1 per person. They get a keg of Bourbon County Stout. They got nothing. Nobody got anything. There was only 1 or 2 stores that actually got any of the variants that the Old Forester, the Elijah Craig. One store that sells, in my mind, the most beer around me, they only got the Bourbon County Stout. They didn't even get the cola, the cherrywood, nothing. So there was weird distribution things going on in Maryland this year and I talked to each of the stores when I went in, and not many people were happy about it. But I talked to one of my locals that I go to a lot, and a couple days ago they had already got their allocation, which was just Bourbon County Stout and the cola, and they put them in a bag for me with my name to pick up today. So I had those that I knew I was getting, and so I went there last. So we rolled around and we got a couple. We found one place that got the Old Forester, but you had to buy a 2019 Bourbon County Stout in order to buy an Old Forester or Elijah Craig.
Really?
So it was like one of those buy the Wheatley vodka.
Right. Yeah.
So, but it was only like $13.99 for 2019. I guess they had some in the back or whatever. So
They're just trying to figure out how to get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind that. So I was able to get the Old Faux from there, and then went to another store where it was just limit 1. You could buy any of the Bourbon County, but they had the cola, the cherrywood. They had the proprietor 14 one. That was the only place that I saw that around me. And they had the Elijah Craig. So I had to get the Elijah Craig. So I tucked one of the 14s behind a bunch of shit. I'm going to go back tomorrow and try to get that.
You're hiding it.
Yeah, hid it in their store. So I ended up with a 2019, a 2021 Bourbon County, cherrywood, a cola, an Old Forester, and Elijah Craig. I don't think Blanton's came to Maryland, the Blanton's barrel, because even the people that got the other one said that they didn't receive any. So if it did, it might have went to like Total Wine or some big guy like that. But I didn't see anybody getting the Blanton's barrel.
Yeah.
If it's Buffalo Trace or Blanton's, they'd probably make you buy a handle of Wheatley.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah, it's probably overrated anyways.
there you go. Probably. I went to Total Wine, and I just enjoy going there, and the whole, I don't know, standing in line. So I got there at 5:15, and they open at 9, so that's 3 hours and 45 minutes. But it's always fun because it's all my friends are there. So the Legend's there, Jen's there, Danny's there, and then there's usually a couple other folks that local that you guys don't necessarily know, but people that I know. But I was the first one, I get, because it was cold today. It was 21 degrees this morning when I arrived there at 5:15, and it just drops a little bit more before the sun starts coming up and that. So it was definitely a cold day. And I take the warden with me, so my wife. So she sat in the car for a lot of the time because it was too cold for her. But sat there for number 1 spot. It doesn't necessarily get you anything being number 1. As long as you were in the top 24, you were actually golden, because they got everything, which is kind of cool. So you were limited to 1 on all the special variants, which that's the Elijah Craig, the 150 from Old Forester, and then the Blantons, and then you could get it really as much as you want on the other variants. And then of course the regular Bourbon County Stout too. So I ended up getting all 7 times 2 plus some extra on just the regular Bourbon County Stout. So got everything. Now that's awesome. And it really is cool because it makes it a one-stop shop thing for you. So you do have to wait in line, but it does make it pretty simple. You know, it certainly was cold, but it was fun. We, you know, we sent Jen out to get breakfast for us and stuff like that. So it was just a really, really good time as always. But it wasn't as good as it used to be, because they used to do, when I first started there, when Total Wine opened, I don't know, 6 years ago now, or 5 years ago, or whatever it was, they used to do a bourbon release too. So you could go up there and you get, you know, Elmer T. Lee, you know, they limited you to one, but it was good. It wasn't Pappy and stuff like that, or BTAC, but it was still pretty desirable stuff. You know, maybe the Four Roses limited edition. I mean, so you were able to get something pretty good. And then that went away a couple of years ago. Then they started having Bourbon County Stout, the representative from Goose Island in there, and they give away free swag, you know, like the tin signs and stuff like that. And this year, nothing. It was just, again, you got all the variants, which I guess that's really what it's all about, but less swag than there used to be at that, for sure. So, but it was still a great day. I mean, we're done, you know, we got the first ones in line. We're done with the whole thing by, you know, 9:10, and we're checked, you know, gone through the whole line, picked out our stuff and checked out and back on the road. So.
Steve, I was going to mention, I have a backup plan too. If the co-op doesn't get the variants, we have Whole Foods here, and they tend to get them. So I can go there probably tomorrow and see if they have gotten them sooner. And that way, if they have some of the variants, I'll buy them there. It's a little bit more expensive because the food co-op you get a discount because you have to work to be a member. Okay. So we get beer is cheaper, but sometimes maybe the variants will come in so much later that you're in competitive thing with the other people in the co-op, and they'll buy them up too. So it's like you have to get what you can get when you can. So if you pay a little bit more, this way I will get to possibly try some of the variants.
Yeah. It's definitely different than it has been in years past, in that I know in St. Louis, I don't know about for the rest of the gang here, but for us, you're able to get the Bourbon County Stout, the regular stuff, for usually a couple months. Actually, it seems like that hangs out. It used to be all gone. It was just literally a one-day event, but now that sticks around. And then it seems like there's always a couple variants, and you never know which ones they are, which ones are going to be the common variants. But there's usually one or two of those that again, you can find for weeks. I don't know those last months, but definitely for weeks you can pick up usually, you know, one or two of those. So that'll be interesting to go to the grocery store tomorrow and see what's still there. So
that's how was it the Larceny barley wine last year? The yellow? That was around here for a long time.
Yeah, it just sat around. Yeah. Same thing by me too.
Yeah, I can still. One of the first stores I went into today, they still had that. They had some 2020s left over, and they had the Larceny. They had I forget which one was the light blue label from 2020. That was still on the shelf. There's a handful. And I told you, Steve, like a couple weeks ago, I walked into a store and randomly one of the Weller bottles from last year was on the shelf. What store you go into, it was a store I don't frequent out of the way, and it was just sitting in there with the beer. It wasn't even on the counter or behind the shelf or anything.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty wild, right? Interesting. So as you continue to drink, what are you guys thinking as you're getting a little bit deeper into those pours?
I am loving
I'm enjoying this.
Mm-hmm.
Dessert in a glass.
Yeah. Definitely a winner with the cola.
When you guys do get to try, and gal, when you get to try the basic one, you're going to be shocked at the level of the bourbon, though, in this year's one. It's really incredibly good. I think it's actually better than it's been.
Nice.
Well, we have last year's. We have the 2020, which is outstanding. I think it's really good. Mm-hmm. So today we just got the cola. Yes.
Well, you'll have to continue to expand that collection and
we
begin selling. You'll get into it, and you know, at first it's like, well, you know, I don't have as much, and then next thing you know, you've done it for a couple of years, and then you get a pretty decent amount, and it gets kind of cool. So, of course, I did have somebody yell at me today for owning a beer museum and not drinking. I didn't even get into the discussion with them as why I do drink all this stuff, and I have a plan, and but I'm not going to get an online fight with a guy over it. It's just stupid.
You want to take a tour of your cellar and see what you got.
Yes. What were you going to say, Rob?
What's your favorite all-time variant?
Man, that's what somebody asked me today too. And I said that what was it called? In 2017, they had one called Northwoods. It tasted like
Oh, yeah.
blueberry pancakes, and I love blueberries. I'm like a blueberry fanatic. So that one, I don't know. I mean, I like a lot of them, but that one just kind of stands out because I'm just such a blueberry fan. And it was.
I'm actually with you. That was a terrific one. I got to try that one. That
Yeah.
was really.
Yeah.
I got several of those, and then traded for a couple more because I liked it. So.
It was the purple. I think it was purple.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have an all-time favorite one, Paul?
I'm trying to think now. I'm going back and nothing really pops to mind.
You know what? I was a big fan of one that was sort of polarizing. I think it was 2018, the vanilla.
No, I like that one.
To me, it had like this crazy vanilla extract thing going on, but in a really good way. God, that went down really, really easy.
Yeah.
But it really had an amazing finish to it too.
That was one though that you had to drink pretty early on, otherwise that started to fade.
Did it?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely that one.
I'm not sure what year it was. There was a year they came out with one that had orange in it, and I was not fond of it.
18. I think that was 18 also.
It was 18, I think, and I actually thought it tasted more like cherry. So it was kind of like an off taste, but still the Bourbon County Basic Stout was in it. So it still was an A beer. It just wasn't an A+.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There was one year they did raspberries. Was that 2017? It's like raspberries and blackberries. I remember that being like chocolate jam. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
This
They
one's
made a
mine.
lot of good variants over the years, though. They've been good.
What were you saying, Melanie?
This is my favorite so far.
There was one year where they changed their coffee company. Whatever they do with and that was not good for the coffee. That was somewhere around 2016, 2017 or something like that. And then they came back to the original one they used, and their coffee ones have always been good. So I don't know who they use for their coffee normally, but it's good. And I'm not necessarily always a huge fan of all coffee beers, but they definitely do some good stuff.
I tell you what, this cola is in my top, I bet you 3 or 4.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really like this. It's so balanced. I think sometimes like with the originals, for me, I almost, in some years, and I don't remember which years off the top of my head, but some years like the finish almost gets a little like wine. Like there's this kind of this bitterness and this over fruity note that I don't necessarily love. But this citrus that they added takes that edge off, and it adds a little bit of like just vibrancy or something. And I just really like this. And it's now room temperature, and it's probably even better. It was cool when I started it. Now it's room temperature, and it's just as good, if not better.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess I have to find that cola one now. It sounds like everybody likes it.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, we'll get Paul to slam one of those real quick here. He's talking to someone now, but
no, I was looking it up. Is this the second year where they've been all stouts? Because they used to do barley wines and stuff like that, and I'm digging that they're just doing all stouts now.
Yeah,
I think it's the second year. I was trying to look it up because I feel like 2019 they had like a barley wine, and I know before it always used to be 1 or 2 in the lineup would be different styles of beer, but I prefer all stout, to be honest with you, when you're talking about, well, especially how they do it in bourbon barrel, that kind of thing. I think it works the best. It's the style of beer I think that works the best with aging in bourbon barrels.
Yeah. Wouldn't you love to be part of the process? I mean, we've interviewed them a couple times, and they get together. Everyone is allowed to participate in the meeting where they pitch ideas on these different variants and things like that. And gosh, that would be a heck of a lot of fun. And they try to make things up so you can taste them, and that it just sounds like a great process. And I would love to be a part of that sometime. That's like a bucket list item of be a part of the the variant process. That would be so cool. Rob just grabbed something. Rob, what do you got there?
It looks like in 2020 they did do one of these Caramella Ales.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
And that was last year. Had that little green label on it. Remember this
Yep,
one?
yep, I remember that one.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of this. Is another larceny one. They did a larceny in 19 that was the yellow. That was the barley wine, and then this one last year, it looks like.
Because we had their master brewer on, and guess what his favorite bourbon is? Larceny. So yeah, so he had 2 larceny ones in the mix. I wonder if that's still the case.
That was a favorite for McNew.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. What else? Well, when Paul comes back, we'll crack these 2017s and see what how they've held up.
No, has anyone tried the brand 14?
No, you gonna want to try one of those?
I might. I have no plans tonight.
All right, yeah.
That's the one I hid, so I won't have that till tomorrow.
You drink 2 Bourbon County stouts. That's a night, right? I mean,
Came over
yeah,
after that.
yeah.
And you'll sleep well too.
You will sleep well. Yeah.
With some vivid dreams.
My wife's like, you only drink 2 beers. I'm like, oh. Yeah.
But they're these beers. They're different.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. All right, Paul, you want to crack your 2017? I'm gonna do mine now.
Yeah, I just went and grabbed one.
Let's see how we did, buddy. Nice.
Got some
I like it.
fit.
Still got a little bit of head left to it, so that's a really good sign. I mean, look at that. 2017 opened. All right. Really happy about that.
Good.
Has a good head.
Yeah. Cheers, Paul.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. How is it?
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Here's the case for keeping it for 5 years right here, man. That is freaking
Yeah.
perfection.
That is dangerously good.
Gosh, darn, that slides down easy, man. Plenty of bourbon notes there. It's just clean, light, and bourbony, man. Holy cow, that's good.
There's a lot going on too. I mean, now it's getting like there's
I'm getting kind of a
leather,
mint,
there's-
even, yeah.
Yeah, like a mint. I was just gonna say like almost like a chocolate mint or something. One
Yeah,
of those Andy's mints. Or
like an Andy's Mints. It's cool,
Yeah.
kind of refreshing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
man, that's good, man.
Yeah, that's really good.
Now I have to go look and see if I have one.
17, okay. Yeah, it's for the Robinsons, you're not doing this. It's kind of fun to keep those older ones. So, and again, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that's 5 years back on the count. So that's as long as I like to keep them. So I'll finish off my 4 more 17s I've got pretty soon here, and then focus on some 18s and have that in manageable shape by next year. And I'll have the 18s phased out. And
Did
My
anybody ever
16,
grab
my
one of
16
these?
is on the edge. As he said.
Oh,
yeah, your
Wow.
16's on the edge for sure. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So I grabbed some of these a couple years ago, and these have the
Yeah.
17s in them. So I'm gonna have to probably break into one of these.
Okay.
That's where I just pulled my 17 out of, Rob. One of
Yeah,
those.
I don't have any loose ones, so I'm gonna have to.
Those
break
are
up.
nice, and those are nice to stash your other ones right back in there because they're
That's
dark and it's a foam box and it's perfectly sized for the bottle.
Yep, and it's a great gift if you so choose to go that way.
Yep.
so now it says on the neck label that it develops in the bottle for up to 5 years. So does the flavor change year over
It
year
does.
if you don't open
Yeah.
it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So
We'll have
Yeah,
to start
that's-
selling them ahead.
Yeah.
that's why you like to buy some extras and throw them, like I said, in a dark is key. Cool is also, desirable, but yeah, definitely don't want them in the light.
I have a question. How is
Yeah.
the alcohol level? Does it taste boozy?
No, this is one of those where you could drink it on the porch till you fall off the porch, because I'm telling you, this will go down easy. This
Okay.
This is
Yeah,
it's not over boozed or anything like that. No way.
No,
It's perfect.
this drink's like an 8 or 9% stout to me.
Mhm.
Like you know you're drinking you know, heavier alcohol beer, but it's not. You would never guess it's 14.7.
Yeah.
It's definitely mellowed
14.7. Yeah. Gosh.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to drink, a handy 6 of these. You'd be maybe in the hospital at that point. I don't know. No, famously, he had no idea. So he's thinking I'm just drinking beer, and he's drinking some of these when they did the Knob Creek one in 2017. I remember that an article about that. They had him out for an event, and he's drinking these things. He just thinks he's drinking beer, and he goes to stand up, and he's lit. He's like, I don't get this drunk on beer. It's just like, well, it's much higher alcohol. So
Also, Steve,
a lot of it.
we're fortunate to be in states where you can get the high alcohol. I have friends in Georgia and Tennessee where the limit is 14. So
Oh, really?
Bourbon counties are more than that. They don't get those variants or those varieties.
Yeah, that's
So in the South, there are states where you can't get Bourbon County in those alcohol content. The high 14 is the limit.
Yeah.
Steve, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, since why is it then that this with 14% ABV is more potent than say a 90 ABV bourbon?
Because you're drinking so much of it. So with a 90 proof bourbon, you're drinking an ounce and a half. Is a standard pour, and with this, you're drinking whatever it is, 16 ounces or whatever these things are. I mean, so
16.9.
Yeah, 16.9 ounces. So, that's where, again, the math, it doesn't work right in your head because you're thinking, well, 14.7, that's no big deal. I drink 90 proof. The problem is you're drinking such a small amount of the 90 proof versus the big pours that you're doing here. That's where you get caught up at. So, yeah.
I always heard like the rule of thumb. Who knows if this is true, but this goes back to like college days. Is that a shot is like 1.5 ounces is equivalent to 6 ounces of wine or 12 ounces of 5.5% beer. So if you're drinking one beer or one shot, it's going to affect you the same way, maybe.
Right. But this is like
5.
equivalent of 3 beers. Yeah. This isn't 5.5
or more.
Yeah.
Or more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's 17 ounces instead of 12 ounces. So that's another. So it's like 4 beers to one shot.
Yeah. So it catches up to you quick. So Rob, you got your 2017 pour, man? I want to get your take on this.
I haven't poured it yet. I'm still I got about an ounce left of this cola, and I want to finish this one first.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
As I remember the 2017, which I did try, it was an excellent year too, even when you drank it.
Yeah. Boy, this is good. You've Michael, you've got some 2017. You're just hanging on to it still at this point, right?
But as I talk to you people more, I have to start worrying about.
You gotta, you definitely don't want to. That's the worst thing. You're like holding on to it, and then cracking it, and it's vinegar. Oh, that's got to be a terrible feeling.
I don't want bad results after something I've held for 6 years.
Right.
Out to be bad. So
I
probably will drink. I'll drink that one within the next couple of months for sure.
I don't see how it can get better than this. Actually, this is outstanding.
You got to drink this one soon, I think, because I don't know that it can get any better. I mean, I think it's going to just start going down from here. This is my last 2017. I'm on to 2018s now, so
you're into your 2018s.
My oldest one.
Yeah.
Yep, the oldest
Steve,
one.
Are you getting any vanilla in yours or any of the other side things? I'm trying to think what other things were in there before. I don't know if those flavors get better over time.
I'm not necessarily catching any vanilla. Like I said, it kind of the chocolate mint thing was definitely spot on. It's still sweet, so there's definitely some fruit notes in there too, but not necessarily. I'm not catching vanilla. So that if that could be found in there before, that's I don't. Paul, you may differ from me.
Yeah. No, I get the same. I don't get much vanilla. It's that chocolate mint. It's sweet. I get like maybe a little bit of like the the finish is like maybe a little bit of coffee because you kind of get that drying, like,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know, in the back, you know, which I really love in stouts. No, this one's spot on.
Yeah, I like it. I do like it. For sure. Rob's he's off camera now.
I'm
We hold-
pouring as we speak.
Okay, he's pouring right now. He cracked into one of those sets, so that's cool.
That's
They
right.
had a bunch of different stuff like that at Total Wine today. I don't know what it was because I got everything that I wanted. So they had some different sets and things you could buy. They're like, these are, but they didn't have anybody knew they were talking. I was like, what is this? And they're like, oh, this is a variable packages. So it's different. And I'm like, I was first in line. Everybody behind me's waiting. So I didn't want to ask too many questions. I got everything I wanted. So I just left. And I spent,
They sometimes have three
I spent
packs
enough
of-
too, by the way. Yeah.
They have three
I
packs,
bet.
3 different years that they have, and they
Okay.
sell them together.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Which is cool.
That's cool. That's what I actually took that same one that Rob has, 17, 18, 19 to Thanksgiving last night. Figured get a, you know, brother and dad, everybody, we can split them. You know, we got 3, you can split them. We can all try them
I'll
side by
try.
side.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to try the 17, 18, 19 side by side, but you got to do it with at least 3 or 4 people. You're not doing it.
You're
by
not going to
yourself.
sit there and pound those by yourself.
No, you'll wake up and their beers will still be there when you wake up.
Right.
So I took it up, but by the time we got around to doing it, everybody's so full. Like we were just like, let's not waste these beers. So didn't get to them. So figured I got 2017. I'll crack it tonight.
That's cool.
So slightly off topic, sort of related. Has anybody seen this guy in the store?
Yep. Yeah, I got a 6-pack.
Oh no, I wanted that. Yeah.
Okay. So here's where my head was at. New Belgium, I'm a big fan of.
Sure.
I'm a huge fan of Four Roses. It was pretty cheap. I want to say it was like maybe $12 or something like that for a
Yeah,
6.
I paid 14. Yeah.
However, if you read the fine print here, and you know where I'm going, Paul, it looks like, but it's an ale aged on oak spirals and bourbon barrel char. So it's not barrel aged. They basically throw a bunch of char, you know,
I took a shortcut there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like hyper aging. It's like the Cleveland whiskey of beer barrel. You know,
Yeah.
bourbon.
Now, Four Roses also has a partnership with what? Brooklyn?
Yeah, the Black Ops.
Yeah. Have you? I can't
That
find
one
that.
I like. That one I like.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Brooklyn's pretty good. I mean,
That
they're
one's legitimate. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one I would save your out of
yeah,
curiosity, but not
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, New Belgium's good too. I mean, they make good stuff. I was real excited when I saw that Oak Spire, and I was, it's not
that's
worth.
disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Isn't there a difference though between spires and staves anyway? Because it's a lower amount of time that it gets a chance in the.
Yeah.
But when
Yeah.
you combine them, and it's not the same as barrel aging.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Supposedly Whistle Pig is doing one of those too, evidently, with some brewery and Whistle Pig.
Oh,
I read about it today, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
the Brooklyn.
Oh, he's got the Black Ops. Okay. Yeah, we don't have
I
any
have
of
a
that.
couple of those too.
Yeah, those are good.
That's cool. All right, we gotta see if Rob agrees with us on the 2017.
Okay, here we go. I can't believe how much of a head there is. That's
I know. That's what when I poured mine, I was like, it's amazing. So
It's more than we got out of last year.
a lot.
Is Rob gonna like it as much as the rest of the group?
yeah, what's Rob think?
Yeah, it's a lot different. I had a 2020 about a week ago, and there's a giant difference between that and the 2020.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's less fruity, and it's more everything else. I get what you guys are saying there with a little bit of a tinge of mint. That is a little odd. I haven't picked it up in any other variant I've had, and I probably had 15 or so. That's different.
That is different. Boy, it drinks easy, doesn't it? I mean, this
Incredibly easy.
one.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I don't know if you'd want to wait too much longer on that.
No, I think that's it there.
That's delicious.
That is delicious. So
You've
there you
helped
go,
me
Michael.
decide my 2016 now. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have it soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Crack your 2016, crack your 2017, man. Get some friends over.
I can split it with somebody. You can do
Yeah.
it with one person for sure. For any.
Oh
of
yeah.
these.
Heck yeah. Yeah. We gotta get the Robinsons on this. we want to make this
now.
this is a Paul and Steve thing at this point. So Paul was on with me last year. He's the only carryover from last year. So at this point, it's a Paul and Steve thing where Paul and I do this every year. I mean, yeah. So we want to keep all you guys coming on with this next year. But then we want to grow it because it's a kind of a cool thing to come in and share. And then because you don't necessarily crack all of your variants right away, so it's good to share with other perspectives with what they've tried and that. So it's cool.
I had another person who was interested, but unfortunately he was traveling to visit his mother and he wasn't back in his home location, so he couldn't come on, but otherwise he would have come on.
Well, tell him to plan on it next year.
Next year he maybe won't come to visit his mother, and then
Yes.
he'll be in his home location. He'll be able to do it.
That'll be good. Yeah, we'll plan on keep doing this Black Friday thing, and sharing what we got and coming in and trying a couple of them.
Yeah, and at least around me, I can get some of the let's call them non-tube variants, like the cola and the cherry wood, probably for another couple days, if not longer.
Right.
Like I said, there was a couple from 2020 that are still on the shelves. The ones I remember not really being super fond of last year, but those may age out and be wonderful. So especially the one like the cherry wood tonight that I loved, and you guys seem to love the cola.
Yeah.
That's something I'm going to want to go back and get one or two of those and put them in
Yeah.
the cellar for, a couple years and see what they turn out to be.
Yeah, I'll grab some more of those as well. Same type of thing. Yeah, what I'll check out what variants are still sitting around, and I just can't help myself. I mean, it's there, and it won't be there for long. So grab it and put it away for my beer museum, as that guy said today.
I saw that comment.
That clown.
I think it's awesome that you have the whole thing. It looks like it was made for it.
Yeah, it does, right? Bourbon County Stout should license that.
Yeah, they should brand that and make a couple bucks.
Yeah.
I'd buy one.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Be better than
beer was
you can sink.
if beer was easier to ship, you could start your own cellaring program.
Yeah, true. Very true. Anything else you guys want to talk about here before we shut off the official recording here that we're doing? I mean, I think that's it. That wraps up Bourbon County Stout 2021. We'll still be on the lookout, picking up the stray variants and stuff that we find. But once again, a great year, and we like what they're doing. And maybe 1 year we'll bring someone on from the company. Maybe we'll see.
That'd be
We'll
cool.
see. That'd be awesome. We'll see if we can do it. It's a fun discussion topic for sure. I'll shut off the recorder now. We'll say goodbye. I'll stick around if you got any questions or anything like that. We always like to do that. For now, take care, everybody. See you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.